Tom Burnham, from a coaching perspective, what were you trying to achieve today?
Yeah, we're still trying to work out some of the systems and stuff on the boat. So we're out there doing a couple of laps with the virtual race course out near the airport. Still another tricky offshore breeze, really up and down with a pretty decent leftover swell, or not leftover, I guess it's just a lot of wind in different areas of the Mediterranean. So meanwhile, we're sailing in 8 to 12 knots of wind, and we've got 1.5 to 2 meter waves out there, so it makes it interesting.
What would be the perfect conditions for doing the testing you're trying to do?
Oh, I mean, ideally we'd be sailing in nice flat water and 15 knots or something, but it's also really good to sail the boat in really hard conditions like this, and you learn a lot about how everything works when it's really shifty and puffy and unstable sea state. So there's a lot of good things that come out of both things, actually.
So I guess that instability translates directly into what we thought we saw both Saturday and today. Some kind of unstable moments with the flight of the boat, the height of the boat, and we felt like the boat was flying more bow up and higher out of the water than usual.
Well, you kind of have to with the sea state, because if you're flying at like a really bow down trim and really close to the water, you're just giving yourself no margin for any waves or anything that kicks up, because the biggest thing is the way the foils are offset far out to leeward. You might have the hull in a wave and the foil in a trough, and the next thing you know, the foil's out of the water and the hull's touching, and so you really have to. It's a lot of trying to get the boat sailing well in those waves, and ideally having all of the pieces all on the same part of the sea state is the best. But when it's that puffy and that much sea state coming from so many different directions, it's pretty common that you end up with things a little bit out of whack, or the foil might be perfectly at the surface where we want it, just under the water the way we like it, and there might be 2 meters of air under the middle of the boat, and then vice versa, that we get touching down in the middle and foils out of the water. So it definitely makes it difficult on the guys flying the boat.
Tremendous amount of coordination and communication, I would imagine, required. How do you work on that communication?
Well, it's exactly just getting out and doing what we're doing. So we're out there. That's exactly part of what we're doing, is working on the communications and looking at the puffs and lulls and talking about the shifts coming, and talking about boundaries coming up and where the ley lines are and all that stuff. And obviously it's different than when you have physical marks in the water, but doing it with the virtual race course is also really helpful, and especially when it's this shifty. I don't think our guys with the mark set boat would be very happy having to reset the marks every 2 minutes with the shifts that were coming around. So easier to send a new course electronically than to move them around physically.
How much more can you wring out of Patriot now? There's a finite window that you're going to use this boat that stops just before the end of this month. What more can you get out of the boat?
Oh, there's still plenty to learn. I mean, if we could be sailing it longer, maybe we would be. We've got other things we need to move on to, though. So there's always tons to learn. I think it's been really fortunate for us to be able to have Patriot here and to be able to sail a full-size AC75 here in Barcelona, to be testing systems and testing different pieces of the boat. So we feel really fortunate that we've had this opportunity to use this boat here in Barcelona during this period.
Final question, what's the next phase now then with you bring out the AC40s again, one design mode, or will you be testing?
Yeah, it'll be AC40s, and there'll be some race testing and things like that. There'll be some one design stuff, there'll be some custom things on there. So it's going to be a mix and match depending on the day and the week, but we've got a few weeks of AC40 sailing, which will be really fun.